The paragraph tag defines a paragraph and is written with just the letter P. The paragraph tag can be used in a couple of different ways. The first way the paragraph tag can be used is to group text together in a paragraph. Let's create a short little web page and I'll show you an example. So I'm going to center some HTML, create an H1 tag, and create a title. This is going to be a Puma limerick, and I'm going to put the H2 tag in here so that you can see it. Make the text bigger. Now I'm going to create the paragraph tag, and I'm going to close the paragraph tag. Now in this case the paragraph tag requires a closing tag. In the next example it does not, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So what I'll do here is I'll just type the limerick. Once was a man from Yuma who told an elephant joke to a puma. Now his bones lie under the hot, dry sky because the puma had no sense of humor. Alright, so there's a limerick. Now notice that when I render this, it's all going to appear on one line. Okay, there's no breaks. The only reason why it goes to a second line here is because my web page is to a certain size. The text wraps around. But if I took this H2 tag off, you'll see what I mean. Alright, so let me render it without the H2 tag. See, it shrinks the text, but you see even more text on one line, and it just continues to the next line. But it's centering it all because I put the center tag. If I took the center tag out, it would not be centering it. Alright, so let me put this H2 tag back in. I'm just using this H2 tag so that you can see this text a little bit easier. So notice here on my text editor that when I get to the end of the line, I press enter and went down to the next line, but up here it continues it onto the same line. HTML ignores line feeds that are in the text editor. If I wanted to put a line feed in there, I'd have to use the non-breaking space tag like this at the end of each line. So when I render it, it comes out on different lines. Now notice that it's all centered. So it might not look right depending on how you want your web page to look. So let's say, for example, I wanted to align all of this text to the left. Even though everything on the page is centered, I just want this paragraph to be aligned to the left. So what I can do, now I'll get more into this later when I do the lessons on the CSS, but I'll show you an example of how you can use this. So I'm going to put the style property in there. I'm going to say text align left. So when I render this, see, now everything in that paragraph tag is aligned to the left. I would not want to put a paragraph tag here. You would think that it would work, but it won't. Let me show you an example. If I put a paragraph tag there to break it up, it's really going to mess up the whole thing because it takes this text that's after the second paragraph tag and reverts back to how it normally would look if I didn't use the style property in the first paragraph tag. So if you want to go down to the next line on your web page, just make sure you use the non-breaking space HTML tag, which can be put inside the paragraph tag. Actually, you can put any HTML element inside the paragraph tag between the opening tag and the closing paragraph tag. So, all right, let's look at another example of the paragraph tag. I'm just going to erase this section here. So I'm going to type a line. And I can put a paragraph tag at the end of the line and another paragraph tag and so on. And when I render this, it's going to put it on different lines. Now, when you create a paragraph tag, it puts a space before the line and a space after the line. Excuse me, not a space, a line feed. When you use a paragraph tag, it puts a line feed before the text and after the text. A non-breaking space, which is a BR, and I'll show you an example if I use a BR tag. See, it only puts a line feed after the line that you type. Okay, so that's how you use a paragraph tag in two different ways. Oh, and I forgot to mention that. Notice the second way. If I go back here and put the paragraph tag, we're back here. There is no closing paragraph tag. So the first way I used it to encompass the whole paragraph. You had to open it with an opening tag and close it with a closing paragraph tag. But the other way to use it is just by itself, which doesn't require a closing tag. Of course, in the second example, I cannot apply CSS properties to each one of these individual lines because the text is not between the opening paragraph tag and the closing paragraph tag.